Abbas here for Boxing Social, here with the golden contract winner, Ohara Davies. OD, how's life treating you? I know you're busy today, but you've taken time out to talk to me, man. How's life treating you on this Sunday morning?
Life is good. Life is good. I'm just in the gym now, trying to work, trying to train, trying to stay focused on my goal, on my craft. Dealing with a few things outside. I'm trying to get a new flat. It's just in the process of like going through. So during this time where I haven't fought for some time, I'm trying to make some moves and some progress outside the boxing ring. So just got to be smart. So I'm trying to stay busy, trying to keep myself on my toes, trying to not enjoy life too much because I'm still working.
Smart moves, like Floyd says. Floyd Mayweather says, making smart moves, man. That's what you seem to be doing.
100%.
But the reason why I've actually called you on today is I want to discuss last night's matchroom card with yourself. The main fight being Josh Kelly versus David Avanesyan for the European title. What did you make of that fight? It was a good fight nonetheless, but Josh Kelly losing, David Avanesyan showing why he's a good champion. But you give me your thoughts on that.
I knew that with David Avanesyan, and I know that he's a great fighter. I sparred him once in the past, and I've seen him fight, and I know what he can do. But with Josh Kelly being the A side, and with everyone expecting him to win and the hype surrounding his name and the odds on the bookies, I was expecting Josh Kelly to win. And after the first round, I was even more convinced that Josh might win this fight. It was sharp. He was sharp, smart, fast. He weren't getting hit, and David didn't have any answers to Josh. But from round 3, round 4 onwards, David adjusted his game plan. He stopped trying to fight smart. He just made it a rough and tough fight, and Josh Kelly couldn't handle it. The intensity and the pressure of that pace, and I won a bit of money on the fight because I had to put a bit of money down on the underdog. So David Avanesyan won me a bit of money, so I've got to thank him.
Is that what you believe changed? Was that David Avanesyan just changed his game plan slightly and just put it more, was just sitting on Josh Kelly's chest, was more relentless? What do you believe changed after the third round?
Not only the game plan, I feel like Kelly's cut on the back of his head affected him because it's like ever since he got the cut, he stopped trying to fight smart. He was more on the front foot, trying to fight him toe to toe. And that's not what he was doing in the early rounds. So I feel like once he got cut, I'm not sure if the cut was on his mind, affecting him in a negative way. But once he got cut, he started fighting David's fight. And if you're fighting a guy like that on the inside, the guy hits a bit too hard. He's got short arms, and that's how he fights every fight. So Josh Kelly walked into his game plan, and he fell victim to him.
I want to ask you then, as a fighter, when you do get a cut, or I'm not sure if you've been in that situation yourself personally, but does it play in your head? Does something like that play with you in your head whilst you're fighting?
I haven't been cut when I've been fighting. I've never been cut, so but I'm guessing it must play on their mind. It must do.
And obviously, I know both threw in the towel. Do you feel like that was a correct decision, the way the fight was going at the time?
Adrien Broner threw in that towel at the right time because before he threw it in, I thought that Josh Kelly, he is getting hit, but he's still in a fight. Once he took those hits and he went down, he weren't gonna it's like he was done. He weren't gonna win the fight. There was no way that he was gonna win the fight. So Adrien Broner, with the experience that he's got, he stopped the fight at the perfect time. Josh Kelly was not gonna win the fight. Not gonna win the fight.
So the question I have to ask is, somebody like Josh Kelly, who's a slick fighter, fights good mid-range to back foot, can control a fight if he needed to. What makes a fighter then change and fight on the inside and just trade with the opponent when that's not his biggest strength?
It's either the pressure that he was being put under, it was something new to him and he couldn't handle it. It's the same thing I went through. I fought Taylor and everyone else before him, I controlled them. I fought on the outside. I found them quite easy, but I fought Taylor and I got put under some pressure and it was new to me. Being a pro, it was new to me. I had never experienced that and I couldn't handle it and I couldn't keep him on the outside and he got me. either it was that or it was the cut. Either he was in pain and he thought to himself, unless I get this guy out of there soon, I'm not going to win the fight. It was one of those two. I don't know which one it was, but it was definitely one of those two.
Can it also be at a point where I think it was a third round maybe where Josh hit him with the left hook and he sort of rocked Avanesyan slightly. You know, Avanesyan sort of took it. Do you feel like at the time it changes? You think, you know what, maybe my power can affect him. I just put it on him. Maybe that could have been a change. Do you feel like that might have played in as a fighter? Does that play?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so because even though he did get hit, he did get rocked, he was never hurt. He just got rocked. He wasn't hurt. A fighter knows. A fighter like him, Kelly's so experienced. He knows when a guy's been rocked and also when a guy's hurt. There's a big difference. David, after that hook, he was rocked, but he wasn't hurt, not one bit. Kelly knew that, so I don't think it was that.
As we know how social media is, and you know the talk after a fighter losing like this is that, oh no, you know what, he's finished. That's it. He's not coming back. But you know more than anyone, Ohara, that you know big defeats like this can make you a better fighter. What's next for Josh Kelly? And do you believe that you know he can still come back and be this great fighter that he wants to be?
Thing about boxing fans, they've always got their thing to say. They're always gonna say something bad about you. Josh Kelly took the fight early on in his pro boxing career. He didn't need to, but if he fought someone a bit easier, they would have said, he's only taking easy fights. When he fights someone hard and he got beat, his boxing career's done. He was a hype club from the start. It don't matter what you do, boxing fans are always gonna have something bad to say, and so they're always gonna have bad things to say about you. Josh Kelly can come back, but a loss like that takes a lot from a fighter mentally. It's gonna be hard for him to come back mentally, and it takes a few miles off the clock, taking all those hits and all those shots. So it's all about mental strength now. Has he got that mental strength to come back? Because I've seen that happen to some fighters in the past, and then after that, their boxing career's over. They never get over something like that. But hopefully, he's got the mindset and the mentality to get stopped and come back from it and to become an even greater fighter, which he's got in him. After I fought Taylor, everyone said I was done. After I fought Catterwell, everyone said I was done. Now I'm the Golden Contract champion. I'm top 15 in the world in the WBC. And even if I lose again, I'll come back, because when you can get beat and you come back once, every other time becomes easier and you learn and you become stronger and an even better fighter. But it's all about getting up the first time you fall.
Well, what happens then? Because I just want to pick your brain. You lost Josh Taylor. How long did it take you, like in regards to time frame, for you to sort of get over the loss and push yourself back into the gym and just think about getting into your next fight?
After I fought Taylor, I fought again after 2.5 months. I fought Tom Farah for the WBA International, which was fairly early to fight another unbeaten fighter. And I went into his hometown to fight Tom Farrell. And when I fought Taylor, it took me 2 or 3 days to get over. Okay. I remember for 2 or 3 days I was down. I thought my boxing career was done. I remember being on a plane back to England the next day, and I honestly thought to myself, my boxing career is over. And that's the first stage of grief, denial. Then you've got acceptance. Then you've got what's next. I had to go through all of those phases. But I thought that my boxing career was done. I thought, what am I going to do now? What am I going to get a job as? Am I going to be on TV? Am I going to find a TV show? Am I going to be a personal trainer? Am I going to get a job? I thought my boxing career was done. Then the next day I soaked inside, a third day. Okay, what's next? Get right back in the gym. And then that was it for me. For other fighters, it might take months, years, or they might never recover. It's all about the individual and their mindset.
Obviously, talking about David Avanesyan, then what do you believe is next for him? He's European champion, but you know they're talking about now pushing on forward again at world level. He's fought Lamont Peterson before, and is it about now just pushing him over and just seeing if he can face any of the top 10 in that division now?
He's got nowhere else to go now, but right back to world level now. Not trying to fight British level, or to stay around that level that he's on now. He just won a big fight on a big stage as the B-side fighter, which he's been the B-side so many times and he's overcome time after time again. It's time for him to make a bit of money now. Fight on the world stage. Fight on the world stage. So I feel like now he'll go straight up to world level, try his luck against against a world champion, or maybe fighting a final eliminator for the world title, and just see how far he can go.
Cool. I want to talk about the undercard, the main core main event, between Florian Marku and Ryland Charlton. What did you make of that? There's a lot of talk about Florian Marku. He signed with Matchroom. First fight, he got a draw, but he won the fight. Wasn't the most convincing performance, but he won the fight without a doubt. But this time around, he beats Ryan Charlton in great fashion. What did you make of his performance?
Oh, it was a good fight. It was exceptionally well for the first 4 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds, but then he did start to gas out in round 6 when he got dropped. Ryan Charlton, it's not his weight class. I think he went up a weight or 2 to fight the fight, so he got paid well. But Florian Marku nevertheless showed that he can hit hard, and he's got a chin. Every shot he got hit with, he just walked through them, and every shot that he hit Ryan Charlton felt it massively. The guy's a massive puncher. I've sparred Marku myself a few times. The guy's a massive puncher, but I'm concerned. But when he fights a fighter his weight and a fighter that's got long arms, who can keep him at range, how can he handle that? Is he going to handle that? Once he gets a bit tired and he gets floored, if you get him floored against someone a weight or 2 below you, what happens when it happens against someone that's in your own weight class? And I feel like he's still got all these questions left to answer. But last night he gave a very good account of himself, and I was quite pleased with what I saw. There's nothing negative I can say about him.
Well, actually, just talking about Josh Kelly in the welterweight division, somebody you know quite well, Connor Benn was there yesterday for Sky Sports, doing his thing. Do you feel like Connor, the way that he's going to fight Samuel Vargas next? Do you feel like he can push for that European level stage at some point?
I think so. Connor Benn can. Connor Benn's boxing career has been pushed the right way. He's been marketed exceptionally well. He's been matched correctly, the right opponent at the right time. He's been matched exceptionally well. But European level will be soon for him, and if not, he will go straight to world level. He'll win a few international titles, and then he'll go straight to world level.
Just talking about yourself, then, Audi. What's next, man? When you next out?
I'm still having a few meetings with MTK Global. I'm still having a few meetings with MTK Global. So I've got to speak about what's next for me. MTK, the best management in the business, they've given me a few options on what I can do next. And what's been taking so long to make announcements is that I've been having to choose, what do I want to do next? And MTK, they've been so patient with me, but within the next day or 2, I would have made up my mind on what I want to do next, and then we'll make an announcement.
Before I let you go, Adrien Broner made his return to the ring after a long time out. I'm not sure if you got to watch it, if you heard much about the fight, but general consensus was that there was a decision win, but he was sort of lucky to get the scorecards in his favor. What do you make of Adrien Broner at this late stage of his career? He's fought a lot of good fighters, not beaten a lot of them big fighters in recent times, but what do you make of AB at this present time?
Yeah, I think AB is a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. But last night I heard his boxing performance wasn't that great. But I never saw the fight. I heard it wasn't that great. But then again, the guy hasn't fought for how many years now? Give the guy a chance. Can he become a world champion again? I truly believe so. As long as he gets his mind back in the game and he focuses. The guy's already won the world title 3 or 4 times. So why can't he do it again? I believe he can. He's a bit controversial, but he sells. The guy sells.
I can remember at the time when OD was this rough, rugged and raw youngster who was just on the mic causing havoc. You also, when I was talking to you about Adrien Broner back in the day, that was someone that, you looked at and thought, this guy's good for boxing, man. Which is why you might have done certain things younger in your career because AB was also doing the certain things and he was getting attention for the right or wrong reasons, but people were following him.
You see characters that make boxing exciting, interesting. The fans can act like they hate us or they hate people that are a bit outspoken, but they love us. If every fighter was all humble and stuff, boxing fans would get bored. But the different characters and the different personalities is what makes our sport so good and so exciting and so interesting. So we need fighters like Adrien Broner. We need fighters like Anthony Crawler, humble. Ricky Burns, humble. Floyd, arrogant. AJ, humble. Humble sometimes, arrogant in his belief in himself. We need all of these different personalities. Is what makes our sport so great.
Yeah, for sure. Different characters does make the sport what it is. So yeah, definitely agree with you, Odie. I know you're a busy man. You've got a few things to do. I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully in the next couple of days we hear an announcement on your next fight, man.
Thank you. You will, 100%.
So, man, Ohara Davies, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Take care, man.
Take care.